The AI research platform SciSpace just rolled out some major updates, so let's try them out. It's an all-in-one research platform for academics, researchers, and practitioners alike, and offers a whole suite of AI tools like SciSpace's agent that we're going to see today. There's now a new biomed agent specifically for biomedical research, as well as tools with literature reviews, citation generators, and much more to make your research skills much more efficient and effective. The SciSpace agent connects to over 150 tools, along with 59 different research databases, with access to more than 280 million papers. And SciSpace have just released a number of updates, particularly around their SciSpace agents, aiming at helping you save time, reducing your research friction, enabling you to focus on thinking about the research rather than spending time trying to collate it all. So here we have the SciSpace platform. This is the homepage, and this is pretty much a brand new profile that I'm using. So those of you watching this who haven't used SciSpace before can follow along from exactly the same point. I am using an advanced profile here, so you can click on the pricing to see the different levels of subscriptions that the platform offers currently at the time of recording. But do take a look below, because I will be providing a discount code that you can apply to sign up for a SciSpace account. For all the membership levels, then you have some sort of credit amount here, and you can click here and see how many credits you have remaining. And those are just the number of different prompts that you can ask of the platform. I want to start really simple then before we dive into some of the features. You can see here we have the ability to enter in a prompt, and we can also here upload a file or add it from your Google Drive. So I've attached this recent publication from BJSN. I've downloaded the full text and I've attached it here. And I'm just going to start really simple by asking it to summarize the findings of this attached paper. And here we have its response then. So it's telling us that it's going to extract the key findings from this paper, and then it actually integrates with Copilot to get its responses. So we can see here on the right-hand side is our output. So it's provided us a comprehensive summary from the research question, which was to explore the injury inciting situational characteristics of muscle injuries. It's giving us a lot of information broken down about the study design and the methodology. Primary findings are very neatly pulled out here in terms of muscle-specific patterns, as well as then secondary or additional findings, and our main conclusion and practical implications. So a really nice overview then of what is a very interesting and detailed study. If we return then, this left-hand side is our prompt screen, and we have its response, but also then at the bottom here, we have follow-up suggestions. So we can go back and forth and ask more queries of this particular paper, or we can take one of the examples here. So in fact, I clicked to create a scientific illustration summarizing the main results. And you can see, again, this back and forth conversation with the agent, that it's now reviewing its own summary document and working on generating the image. So I'm really excited to see what it comes up with here, because of course, there's a lot of information in this publication. We can see as well that it's not just provided us with this image, which actually to me looks pretty impressive. I mean, the anatomy looks correct, and it's quite a nice visualization. So I've come back to the homepage now. We can see, as well as all these fantastic tools along our menu bar on the left, we also have our recent chats then, and that research paper summary was the chat we were just in. So we could rename that, we could pin that, but we have access to go back in and out of that as we need. Obviously there, I just manually uploaded a single paper, but in reality, I want a way that I can kind of connect my current system for research so that I don't need to start from scratch. And one of the latest features that builds this perfectly for us is now an integration between SciSpace and Zotero. Zotero is an online citation manager. If you're not familiar with it, then have a look at my previous video demonstrating Zotero and just how useful it is to keep all your citations and your publications organized. There are two ways we can do this. From the homepage here, we can see this kind of gray bar here and all the apps. So we can click through here and we can get the status of these available apps. And here is where I could then connect my Zotero platform. But I'm also going to show you another way whereby I do it through my library. We can see over here then this import from Zotero option. And here we then can start the connection between SciSpace and our Zotero citation manager. So obviously I need to give Zotero permission. So I will just go ahead and log in here. And then I just need to grant permission for SciSpace to connect to my account. So now it's popped up with my Zotero collection, and I know that these are the folders that I already have in Zotero. So that's already telling me that the integration is working. And so now we can see that we have got 113 files in here all of a sudden. We can see publication on elite women's football, a Kate Young paper about decision-making in return to play. Of course, we've got the too long, didn't read, very broad one-sentence summary of the paper. And then with SciSpace here, we can customize exactly what columns we want to see here in my library. Do we want to see more about the methods used, the limitations, which is sometimes overlooked, but of course so critical, or the results? Whatever we might want, we can just add this as a column into our library. And again, based on the folders I have in Zotero, so for instance, I have a women's football folder of publications. You can see here then that has instantly brought it across from Zotero. So this is so useful because it's one of the barriers that I see to all these new AI tools now, is in terms of having to potentially upload and re-upload or rebuild your research library if you've been managing it elsewhere. But of course, this integration has solved that. And of course, not only has it pulled the papers across, it's also analysed them for us and given us the ability then to pull out this information according to the columns that we want to see. I think this Zotero integration as well is the first of many. They're going to be expanding here in the coming months or so in terms of tools such as Notion, OneDrive, Slack, and GitHub. So they're going to really help you automate pulling in all your current research library into SciSpace. And we can use the SciSpace agent then to ask questions specifically of the files in our library. So given my folder on women's football, I'll just ask the agent to tell me about ACL risk in women's football. So we can see that it's taken 3 of the sources in the library. Here I can see the actual papers that it's pulled out specifically in terms of my library. And then it's provided this summary here at the top with these live links to the actual publication. And then again, we can also continue that chat and follow up with some of these related questions. But also, if we come back into my library, then we can also look not just at the PDFs, but we can ask the same question as well overall in terms of publications that are available in the literature. So here we see it's performing a deep review search. We've got different levels of how deep the research goes. And here then, okay, it's asking for a more specific prompt. Clearly, it was a little bit too broad. So now let's be more specific in terms of asking for what factors contribute to ACL injury in women's football. And we can see then, again, it's keeping us up to date with what it's doing, how far through it is. So currently 10% done. So we fast forwarded now to being about 90% done. Obviously, this is a massive topic and a massive question. So it is taking perhaps a minute or so, but already that is so much quicker than if I was doing this search manually. So we can see the actual queries that it's been using and the fact that on this topic it found 1,750 papers, and it's been able to filter those down to 335 top papers. It's found an additional 53 relevant papers, giving us 381 top papers. And it's now creating our deep review reports. So it's collapsed our steps, but of course we could take a look through if we wanted. But here is our response. It's given us a report based on 50 highly relevant papers on the factors that influence ACL injuries in women's football. And it has essentially then given us this whole literature review in essence, with live links as well to papers. Nice table summary here. Themes of the literature, along with all the publications. So obviously I'm going to take a bit of time to actually go through all that, but in the space of a minute or two perhaps, then we have this fantastic report that I can then download. I also now have the ability on SciSpace to save to a notebook, and that of course is going to be really useful in terms of keeping all of these notes, reports, everything stored categorically so I can come back to it easily in future. So let's create that notebook. And then again, we have the actual papers linked here. We have that ability to summarize them. So really we can go as deep into these papers as we want. This clearly is our starting point, but now what a phenomenal starting point for us. So let's take a look then at my notebooks. I was able to use this to create this fantastic report and also save this into my notebook. So we can see a little bit clearer now when we go full screen, just exactly how much that's provided for us there on our prompts. So that's a demonstration of SciSpace, but includes 4 new updates to the platform: the Zotero integration, the library search now with the SciSpace agent, the report writing sub-agent, and the ability to save to your notebooks. And these updates, as well as the platform as a whole, really strive to help you save time, reduce the manual effort, and just ultimately improve your research flow and focus. So if you want to explore SciSpace for yourself, then you can try these updates and the whole platform using the link in the description below. And I've also included a discount code that you can use with their different subscription options. As always, this doesn't replace reading the papers for themselves. This is a starting point. This is an effective way to get a summary before you dive deeper. And equally, it doesn't take over all of the writing and completely be responsible for your literature reviews or whatever report writing you might need to do. Use this as your starting point, not your end point. Use it as your research assistant that you can then tweak, refine, and change to make it exactly how you want it. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe, and come back again soon for another Sports Science Insights video.